Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. Since its establishment in 1958, America's National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, has remained among the agencies at the forefront of global space exploration. Known for the Apollo moon landing missions, the Space Shuttle, and a host of other innovative exploration efforts, NASA regularly makes use of cargo planes to move the unique appliances and oversized equipment required for its mammoth projects. The Aero Spacelines Super Guppy is one of such impressive transportation aircraft used to achieve this. Its very first version, the Pregnant Guppy, was built in 1962 on the basis of a Boeing 377. The enormous 19-foot diameter cargo compartment was designed to carry the second stage of a Saturn rocket in the Apollo program. It would later evolve into the Super Guppy we know today, incorporating elements from various existing aircraft: the cockpit, wings, and tail from a 377 Stratocruiser, the nose gear borrowed from a Boeing 707, the engine from an anti-submarine plane, the Lockheed P-3 Orion, and the propellers from the large C-130 cargo plane. This unique aircraft became an inspiration for the design of other well-known aircraft, such as the Airbus Beluga or the Boeing Dreamlifter a few decades later. With an internal cargo area that is 25 feet in diameter and 111 feet in length, there are very few other aircraft that come close to matching the sheer volume of cargo this plane can carry. The Super Guppy allows for full frontal cargo loading thanks to its uniquely hinged nose that opens 110 degrees. The nose can be opened and closed with a control lock and disconnect system. This avoids any interruption to the flight or engine control rigging. NASA has made loading cargo on the Super Guppy a simple and efficient process, with minimal ground support equipment required. The Super Guppy is certainly a case of practical engineering outweighing aesthetics. This strangely structured aircraft almost looks like it shouldn't be able to fly due to its disproportionate dimensions, but it does. With a maximum takeoff weight of 170,000 pounds, the Super Guppy is powered by 4 Allison turboprop engines, which put out 4,757 horsepower each. After takeoff, it cruises at speeds of up to 260 knots. That is significantly slower than similar-sized aircraft, but with a max load of nearly 55,000 pounds, this is not surprising. The Super Guppy lands in a similar way to other 377 Stratocruiser variants. The wings on these aircraft are designed to be as small as possible, which minimizes drag, but also creates less lift. However, this lack of lift is accounted for by the powerful prop wash from the propellers. These are mounted directly in front of the wing to create extra airflow and lift. During landing, the engines are throttled back and flaps are extended to add lots of drag until the aircraft makes a safe landing. NASA has used several types of aircraft in their history for moving spacecraft and oversized equipment from one facility to another. Two extensively modified Boeing 747s have been used as shuttle carrier aircraft. Originally purchased from American Airlines, these 747s retained first-class seats for NASA passengers. but had their main cabin and insulation totally stripped and the fuselage greatly strengthened to withstand greater payloads. NASA used these planes to ferry space shuttles from landing sites back to the shuttle landing facility located at Kennedy Space Center. In 1999, NASA contracted Boeing once again to design a new orbital vehicle, roughly 1/5 the size of the Space Shuttle. The X-37 shared a similar aerodynamic design to the shuttle and could reach speeds of over 17,000 miles per hour for orbital maneuvers. It had the ability to re-enter Earth's atmosphere and land without human intervention. The X-37B was a modified version of the original X-37A and was initially intended to be carried in the cargo bay of the Space Shuttle. But this proved to be uneconomical and was instead redesigned to be launched on a Delta IV rocket or similar platforms. The X-37B is one of several space planes that has been launched into orbit and then returned successfully after re-entering Earth's atmosphere. On May 7, 2017, the Air Force's X-37B Orbital Test Vehicle 4 landed at NASA's Kennedy Space Center shuttle landing facility. This reusable robotic spacecraft has had several orbital missions, with the latest one being launched on an Atlas V and lasting for 780 days. It isn't just spacecraft that NASA needs to effectively transport. The $10 billion James Webb Space Telescope is the most powerful telescope ever launched into space and eclipses the capabilities of the Hubble Space Telescope. It has greatly improved infrared resolution compared to its predecessor, which allows it to view objects too old, distant, or faint for the Hubble telescope. It was a major step forward for NASA, who now have the ability to observe the formations of the first galaxies, as well as potentially inhabitable exoplanets. Before its ascent into space, it had to be transported from NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, to Northrop Grumman's clean room in Redondo Beach, California. This was a slow and time-consuming process that required precision planning and enormous logistics. Engineers moved the Webb telescope into a Space Telescope Transport Air, Rail, and Sea, or STARS container, and then reinstalled the tent frame and lid in order to push it out of the clean room. The first part of its journey would be on the road via a truck. After being towed through the night, the Webb telescope would eventually make its way over to Ellington Field Joint Reserve Base. That's in Houston, Texas. There, it would be loaded into a C-5 Super Galaxy transport aircraft. Dozens of crew members would be needed for this delicate and extremely expensive task. After being loaded onto the C-5 Galaxy, it would later land at Los Angeles International Airport to be unloaded. The C-5 Galaxy, with its large cargo space, can deliver a range of military vehicles, equipment, and helicopters, including the U.S. Army AH-64 Apache. Previously, these helicopters have been transported from Fort Bliss, Texas, all the way to Ramstein Air Base. Depending on the configuration, the C-5 Galaxy can carry up to 6 Apache helicopters in a single load. This is thanks to its sheer capacity. Airmen, soldiers, and other personnel loaded 3 Apache helicopters onto a C-5 at Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan on February 7th of 2019. Being the largest transport aircraft in the United States Air Force makes it an ideal choice for carrying such massive payloads. Just like NASA, the U.S. Army's need for the transportation of hefty payloads and important resupply materials has led to the manufacturing of some aircraft with very impressive capacities. And as humanity continues to aim for greater innovativeness in the air transport sector, it is certainly that bigger and faster planes will be developed with even more impressive capacities than these. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.